Hello to our viewers who have tuned in today, and welcome. We have a good match in store for you. This is coming from the Striolated Manakin Mayhem Cup, so we are now into the knockout stage of this tournament. So we've just concluded the group stage. We had Saephir, who came second in Group A, who's progressed through, and then also we've got Captain Awesome, who finished third in Group H. So they have come through to face each other in this first knockout round match. So my name is Flan. I'll be walking and talking you through the game today, and I'm joined by my fantastic French friend Motherlove. So welcome, Motherlove. How are you doing today?
Yeah, thank you. Hello. Doing good. You know, starting work again at the new year.
Yeah.
Also in theory.
In theory, at least. Yep.
But yeah. Good luck to both players. I think it's gonna be a good game. I know both players. I think Saephir. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he was in Division 1 for the Premier League.
Yeah, I know both players have been around for a little bit. I've seen them in a few tournaments. So I don't think either of them have been on stream yet, though. They've not had a game through on this, so yeah, it should be a good opportunity for them both. So I think we are ready to get started into the game. So we have Saephir going first, as they won the coin flip. So yeah, if you want to send the invite over, Saephir, and we can get this started. So good luck to both players again. All right.
Decent. I mean, there's already a good wood bird here.
Yeah, I quite like that from a forest perspective. You know, maybe a little bit weak on the wetlands front, but there's a couple of decent wetland options in the tray at least.
It's gonna be awkward trying to interpret those bonus card names.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna say we've had quite a few.
Omniverse, but...
Yeah, we've had quite a few different languages. I know we've had Mandarin, Chinese on one of these. We had French, which you would have been fine with, but I struggled a lot. I think we had German as well. So yeah, we're really multicultural. We're getting lots of exposure to different languages. But yeah, I think the bonus cards, at least the two that we see there, you can work it out from the symbols. And yeah, as long as you remember what the bird pictures look like, then hopefully you should be okay through this one.
Actually, alongside the Bowers Goldeneye, this is a really good starting hand for Saephir.
Yeah, I think I have to agree. You know, they can easily get, you know, two of those strong forest birds down, and yeah, going first, they can jump on that Goldeneye and shouldn't really be too much of a problem. Being able to get the food for that either, and you know, the nest type works out as well with the woodpecker. So yeah, I think this definitely looks like a good start for Saephir.
Do you keep the Baltimore Oriole here? Because there are two berries in the bird feeder.
Yeah, I quite like the Oriole in general. You know, it's 9 points, and the star nest.
I think
is always
potentially, I would say you keep it, but depending on the cards that Captain Awesome is gonna play, probably don't activate the power.
Yeah, I think it's nice because you always have that option. So you know, if you do get the Oriole and the woodpecker down in your forest, you're already getting 2 food, and then depending on whether you get the power activation on the woodpecker and the Oriole, you can get, you know, up to 4. Interesting, they've not gone for it though. So I wonder if they are just going to gamble a bit on, you know, trying to draw more cards and see if they get something better from that.
I was going to say perhaps to try and play the Goldeneye faster, but the thing is, if they keep 2 birds, they take 2 food, they can already play the Goldeneye in the same amount of turns, so it doesn't actually make a difference whether they keep it or not.
No, that's a good point. You know, they will still have to go back to the bird feeder at least once in order to get enough food to play both of those birds. So. But yeah, so we've got Captain Awesome starting hand here.
We have Etma supporting the family here.
Oh yes.
just heard him join the stream.
Come to cheer on his dad. No, hopefully we see a good game from him. But yeah,
hopefully no ghosting.
No, absolutely not. Not as strong of a starting hand.
Yeah, slightly less impressive. Willet is a good start, and then I'll probably try and snatch the indigo bunting.
I think so.
I would play in the woods here personally, even if it has the possibility to go in the grassland. I think it's just safer to play in the woods.
Yeah, it's a safer option. I mean, looking at the bird feeder, there are a lot of it's basically all grubs and berries, which is exactly what the bunting's going to take. So certainly, in this early game, in this first round, they're probably not going to struggle to activate that power.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be interested to see if they do go for it. They have got the Forester bonus card, so if you do play the bunting in the forest, that is one less space available to try and maximise that out. So that might be something in the back of their mind at least.
Saephir does go for the golden eye straight away.
Yeah.
No hesitation.
No, absolutely no. They had plenty of time to think about it, so yeah, not surprised. And
yeah,
as predicted,
Indigo bunting, and he gets the classic rule 16.
As always, yeah, I think that chipping sparrow is going to go nicely with the woodpecker for saephir. But yeah, I mean, it's just interesting on Captain Awesome's perspective that they must have thought about going for the bunting, but they didn't keep the seed. So they are still going to have to go from the bird feeder to get something for that. I think at least if they had kept the food for the bunting, they could have got it down straight away. I mean, you don't even need the fish. You could have used a grub to get the willet down as well. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they play it from here.
This is really an amazing start for Saephir.
Yeah, I
think
think
he's going to be able to play all three of his birds with no problem at all.
Yeah, they can get that.
And
they can get
him
the
up quite nicely.
Exactly. They can get the chipping sparrow down and then start, gaining food, and then that will give them eggs as well. Interesting that going for food before playing the sparrow, though. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, maybe they're worried about. Oh wait, no, maybe they want to play both the woodpecker and the Bowers goldeneye immediately.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I think it is, it's potentially a risk because if you don't get that activation, you're kind of gambling on the fact that your opponent is going to lay eggs exactly on that turn before you're hoping to play the sparrow. So if that doesn't happen, they will have to look to lay eggs themselves. I just feel like that playing that sparrow first, it would have been a safer move because they knew they were going to have to gain more food anyway, and you're going to get free egg from that. And the food was always going to be in there for the bird feeder. So.
Is that Captain Awesome on the... Yeah, Captain Awesome going for the indigo bunting in the grassland?
Yeah.
Which is it's a bolder move, I would say, because you do run the risk of eventually having to shift back to the forest and having mediocre draw, but...
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think indigo bunting in the grasslands, it is quite a strong start.
Yeah, it could set you up really well for later on, but it is a bit of a risky option, I would say. Yeah,
you definitely can't rely on it. If that's your only food source, then you're really going to struggle to get some of those big point birds down later in the game. Really, you kind of either need to add something to the bunting, so crow or a hummingbird or something like that, or you just use it as a sort of supplement to your food source, and you can't neglect the forest. If that's your only food source in the bunting, you kind of need to go for something else in the forest.
I think a bit of a misplay here from Captain Awesome. He played the willet before taking eggs and getting the worm, which was a safe play and doesn't change anything for him, but it does mean now he gives an egg to
exactly. Yeah, I think this
Awesome.
has worked out really nicely for saephir because Captain Awesome is kind of forcing themselves into laying eggs here, so that will give saephir the free egg. So absolutely, that's they now have that egg, and they could either use that to get extra cards, or it's going to help them get that chipping sparrow down even sooner.
Especially because what Saephir was trying to do, I think, was kind of transparent.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, because Captain Awesome will have known that they had the golden eye because they took it from the tray in that first turn, and they'll see the other cavity nest there in the forest. So, like you say, it's one of those situations where you can read a lot into what your opponent is doing, and I think in a situation like this, that can certainly dictate what you do with your turns, just so you can sort of minimise, the damage and minimise the points that you're giving to your opponent.
Yeah. Good draw from Saephir. Had two Evo expert birds, and also he doesn't have a brown power in the water, but he does have the brand now, which gives him more card opportunities. Yeah. If he gets a token draw or something like that.
Yeah, I think the brand is a good pickup here, like you point out. It fits nicely with their omnivore expert bonus card, so that'll get them a couple more points. And yeah, just the flexible food costs, I think they should have no problem really getting the seed, either through gaining the food or using it from their woodpecker. So yeah, I think they can look to get that down. And like you say, they kind of are struggling for cards a bit in their wetlands because they don't have that brown power to give them more cards. But if the right birds are in the tray, then the brant can be such a powerful bird to use in this situation.
Okay, here's a debate I always have whenever I play between cash or take, because I think in this case he can maximize how many actions he takes in the forest, because his forest actions cost him quite a few points and gives him eggs. So I don't think he's in a rush to get food fast. So I think caching could have been a better play potentially, but it really depends. I know Wingspan in his article always says never cache food until you're done playing birds. But I think in this case, getting those early points can really make a difference at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing maybe what they're thinking is, okay, if I take it rather than cache it, I can get both the chipping sparrow and the brant down without having to go for food again. So potentially saving a turn, either going for food or eggs. But yeah, I think generally in the early game, I lean towards keeping it rather than caching. It is very situational. If you are building something in the forest where you're going to be activating that a lot of times and getting a lot of food, then maybe you don't need it and actually to be better off with the point. But yeah, I think early game it's never a bad thing to keep your options open, and yeah, certainly by keeping that seed rather than caching it, they've been able to get the brand down sooner.
Really good draw here for Captain Awesome, I think, with the Eastern Phoebe, just building up his grassland engine and also sort of messing up Zephyr's wood engine a little bit. I mean, not messing it up, but to indeal its power. Is that the trade? Did I just see like a tuck and draw end of Franklin's Girl?
I think you're right. I don't know if Captain Awesome's stream has just paused a little bit here, so hopefully that catches up. But yeah,
a dramatic shift in tempo here.
Yeah, I think there we go. So I think they do still have another egg. So yeah, if they draw that gull and the martin, and then add that to the Phoebe and the bunting.
He did draw both. You can see from Zephyr's stream.
Yeah, that's
lagging a little bit.
Yeah, that's going to be so strong. It's going to give them everything they need. They'll get eggs, card, and food. And like you say, I think in a situation like this where you can see where your opponent's strength is, and at the moment for saephir, that is getting lots of food. So you can almost afford to play that Phoebe, and you don't have to worry too much about giving the extra grubs from the Phoebe, because he's going to be getting so much food from the forest saephir that it's really not going to have too much impact on what Captain Awesome's able to do.
And this is where indigo bunting in the grassland pays off big time, I would say.
Absolutely.
Especially because now he's always going to have 4 sheep birds in the forest, so he's already on the 4 egg stage.
Exactly. I think it's key to build that up as quickly as possible, especially if you do have something like the gull, which is going to take eggs away. If you can build that up, like you say, get those 4 birds down, and suddenly you're getting 4 eggs, plus you're getting all those cards and all those tuck cards and the food. It's just such a strong all-in-one engine, and yeah, I think.
Ooh. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe not what I would have done, but I think they've got an eye on this end of round goal and thinking, okay, I need something there, but they've got the Warbler in their hand that they could have looked to play, and that would have been a nice option as well.
I think more than anything, they noticed the Franklin's Girl purple matter going, and they thought, okay, my golden eye is going to provide enough eggs.
Yeah, but then again, if that's the situation and your golden eye's giving you lots of eggs, you're not really going to need to lay eggs in that grasslands too often. So it feels like the chipping sparrow's a bit of a waste. It's not going to get used that often. If it's just sat there, I feel like it certainly would have been a better option to get that down in their forest.
I definitely agree.
Yeah,
he did go for the set of eggs straight away. So I feel like there's 4 turns left. He's maybe rushing, maybe panicking a little bit with the round end objectives.
Yeah, I think looking at Captain Awesome,
he has the blue-winged warbler. He could have definitely had a time to play there and get a couple series down.
Yeah, I think maybe he was looking at Captain Awesome's board and seeing, okay, there's going to be a lot of birds in this grassland, but maybe not so many in that forest. So if I can, at least get that one set down, and maybe even two, if Captain Awesome is able to get a bird in the forest, then I think that just sets them up so nicely. And yeah, they already managed to win that first end of round goal. So if you can take an even stronger lead by winning this second one, then yeah, it just sets you up so nicely going into round 3.
Taking the points where you can, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
It's not a bad play.
No, and we say it time and time again, in these 1v1 games, any points that you can get from the end of round goals, it's points you're taking away from your opponent as well. So they're almost twice as useful as they would be in any other setting. So yeah, and really for saephir, they're going to see the strong grasslands that's being built up. So you kind of need to take the points where you can get them, and certainly those end of round goals are always a good option.
One bird.
Yeah, I think you probably would get the Phoebe down first, just so you can.
No. Captain Awesome still has his bonus card Woodpecker in hand. It's the first card he kept, and he does have the Indigo Bonding, which give him berries. He plays the Eastern Phoebe here. He can get both food and get a series down. Before the end of the round.
Yeah, I think getting the Chickadee down, they're probably not going to need to use that too much if they do go for the Phoebe in the grasslands. The Phoebe and the bunting is probably going to sort them out, at least in terms of food for the most part. So certainly, if you are building a strong grassland engine that gives you a lot of food, then you want to be using those forest spots for bonus cards like the Woodpecker, those white powers that you're not going to activate. So yeah, maybe a little bit of a mistake there, but I think maybe they did see the amount of eggs that saephir was getting down in the habitats and sort of panicked a little bit and thought, no, I need to rush and get something down now so I can at least try.
That's
and compete.
How I feel as well. It feels like both of them are panicking about the round ends a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, like we said, they are important, but I think you've got to think about the point gain and could I get more points doing something else? And certainly it feels like in Captain Awesome's position, if they can build up that grassland even sooner, they've got the Martin down now, but if they could have managed to get the Phoebe down as well, the sooner you build that up, that's going to give you even more points, throughout the rest of the game. So you can almost afford to take maybe a 3-point hit now, but thinking longer term and thinking, okay, I'm gonna get back those points and more, the more I activate this grasslands.
Well, the thing is, he would have had the time if he played the Eastern Phoebe instead of the Purple Martin to directly play the Woodpecker instead of the Carolina Chickadee.
Yeah, I think there was definitely still options there, but I think they're still in a good position. The bird feeder is at least helping them somewhat so far. There's still a couple of cherries there, so they can always take one of those, and that will help get the Phoebe down. Sometimes the problem with the bunting that you run into is that the bird feeder gets stuck, and you're not able to reset. But I think the position where saephir is setting up a nice engine in their forest, that your opponent is going to be reliably resetting that bird feeder. So I wouldn't expect that to be too much of a problem for Captain Awesome here.
Just noticed Geest is in the voice chat. I don't know when he joined, but there is an Eastern Phoebe potentially in place.
Oh, Geest, I think he has some kind of like Eastern Phoebe radar, so as soon as it appears in a game, he'll sniff it out and find where it is and make sure he's watching.
My core bird senses are tingling.
Exactly, yeah. My Eastern Phoebe senses. Okay.
What was the bonus card for Captain Awesome?
I think it's the Forester. So
okay.
Maybe that nuthatch or chickadee they got down was sort of half an eye on that as well. Obviously, they have still got the woodpecker. That'll be a second one. But yeah, that's quite a nice. The Vireo in the tray. I think that's a good option for them.
I was going to say very good turn for Captain Awesome Hairs.
It's easy.
Ziffy maybe
easy to get down as well with the food cost. The Star Nest could well come into play for this end of round goal as well. So yeah, I think if I'm Captain Awesome, I'm definitely looking to take that Vireo in the tray.
I think Vireo just all around is truly an excellent bird. It's 3 points. It's a Star Nest, and it does all of the bonus cards.
Exactly.
So, and when you have a grassland, and it's a really good way to convert and make more X spaces and convert your food into points.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Sometimes you can find if you are laying eggs a lot, particularly with a strong grassland engine like this. It is so easy to fill up those egg spaces. So yeah, something like the Vireo, the flexible food cost, and it's the food that, the exact food you're getting from either your Phoebe or your bunting. So I don't think Captain Awesome will have any problems getting that down quickly. So yeah, I think, like you say, it's an all-round strong bird in most situations, but it feels almost tailor-made for what Captain Awesome's trying to run here.
Bit of struggle on his end.
Yeah.
To stream.
Yeah.
I've been watching almost exclusively Zephyr's stream.
Yeah, learning your Polish along the way.
Yeah, trying to decipher like the pop-up that says what the player did. Okay, so what was that?
We're all learning something here, so it's all good.
But yeah, we were saying like from the start, Captain Awesome looked to have a much rougher start than Zephyr, and it turned around pretty dramatically with the bird tray in round 2.
Yeah, I think that bird tray at the start of round 2, like you say, it's almost a perfect example of how quickly things can change in this game. Like you said, you looked at the setups and the cards that the players had in that first round, and you thought, oh, this is looking almost like a slam dunk for saephir. Really strong position for them. But yeah, at any time Franklin's Gull appears in that tray in the second round, yeah, it's just such a game changer, and I feel like it's been such a strong card for Captain Awesome, and really worked well with what they were already setting up in their grasslands.
Yeah, Vero also gives him. I mean, like his engine goes really well with the current end of round goals, and the Vero also gives him another cup nest.
Yeah. So saephir's just drawn a raven. Which is interesting, and there is a rodent in the feeder, so it almost feels a little bit late. But do you still pivot to the raven in the grasslands at this point if you're saephir?
I think you do, because from his position he can potentially mess up the bird feeder in a way that Captain Awesome can't get anything else from the indigo bunting. If he was on you, or because just stopping. If he stops using the bird feeder, the indigo bunting is eventually going to run out of things to take.
Yeah, I think that ties into that point we were making before. The bunting can quite easily get stuck in a position where you can't gain food from the feeder. If your opponent is resetting it a lot, then you don't have to worry about that too much. But yeah, certainly, it's not that strong against the raven for the reasons you said. Just in terms of being able to avoid that bird feeder. So. Yeah, I think it also works with their bonus card as well. Let's not forget. So Omnivore Expert.
Yeah. He has 3 now with the King Whale.
Yeah.
I don't know why Captain Awesome is holding off on playing that Phoebe so much.
I don't know. Because it helps him
especially
because it's got the star
I feel
nest.
like now he but I also feel like now he has way too many birds in his hand that he's ever gonna play.
Yeah,
and he already has pretty strong bird. He has the bald eagle, he has the Vero and woodpecker combination, so he's pretty much set for the rest of the game. And another omnivore, 9-point omnivore.
But they've not gone for it saephir, so I don't know if they haven't seen it or if they're just blinded by, I've got the raven, so I need to get that down now. But they've already committed going for the food, so that feels like a bit of a miss. Like you said, it's another omnivore bird, so that's suddenly 11 points from one bird. That's huge at the end of the game, and it does feel like they've missed out on that opportunity here. Especially
if he gets the cat bird down, he's gonna have so much food.
Yeah, exactly. He's not gonna have any problem playing that.
But on the other hand, he does already have 5 birds to play. And if he does get the grassland, that's not the bird to throw.
Yeah.
If he does get the grassland engine, he can copy the chipping power and have a pretty decent engine.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And yeah, really, they kind of needed that extra bird in the wetlands, like you say. They kind of, do you commit and play all these birds, or I don't know. It's always a tricky decision, but just going back onto Captain Awesome, I think on that last time they did skip the goal for the first time, so I think they probably have realised, I've got more than enough birds given the number of turns left. But yeah, I'm still surprised that the Phoebe's not gone down.
Still no Phoebe down.
He needs that 4th grassland bird. It's going to get points. It's going to get those extra eggs. It helps with this end of round, and the food generation just really isn't there. All of these strong birds they've got that they're going to need to play either for their existing bonus card or maybe to get more bonus cards. They just can't afford to do that because they're not getting enough food.
Oh, definitely. Especially now that the Indigo Bunting is running out, and even just points wise, like you said, he missed about 4 eggs now.
Yeah.
Just by not being on the highest stage of on the grassland.
Yeah, and I think as well that last end of round goal, is it eggs in the grasslands or is it birds in the grassland? I can't quite see it.
I can't see because it's the
it's covered on the live stream, so we might have to wait and see for the end of round for this one. But I mean, either way, even if it's birds or if it's eggs, that indigo, that Eastern Phoebe, it's another bird and it's got 4 egg spots. So I think regardless of what that end of round goal is, you kind of want to be getting that down anyway. Hearing in the chat,
eggs.
It is eggs.
Thank you.
So 4 egg spaces. It works for this end of round goal for the bowl nest, but it feels like that needed to go down like this time last round almost, and it's almost getting to that point now where it feels a little bit too late.
Saephir could have played the blue-winged warbler in the grassland before taking eggs. He missed out on an egg here. I think he's focused on the catbird, but at this stage, I'm not sure they're gonna gain too much from the catbird. I feel like the extra egg was worth it.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I mean, it depends really what they do with that catbird. I can only imagine that they're going to copy the chipping sparrow because they've not, unless they're going to go for cards again. They're going to get enough food to play those existing birds in their hand from the raven. But I mean, if you were going to go for cards again, I think they already would have done because that swan is just such an obvious pickup. Being the omnivore bird, already 9 points without that bonus. So yeah, I just feel like that was an obvious pickup. And if they did get the catbird down and they were struggling for food, you can always copy the raven and suddenly you get that swan down in 1 turn rather than 2. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they do go for cards again.
They're gonna have to, I think. I'm not sure they don't have enough birds to play to last the entire one.
No,
it's
I'm not
debatable
sure
because they do have a lot of egg spaces with the king whale in the back.
Yeah, that's true actually. If they can lay eggs a couple of times, that will get them enough food from the raven to play both of these birds, and then they will have enough egg spaces to lay eggs on that last turn as well. So probably at this point that's what they're looking to do. But yeah, that swan is still staring at me with its 9 points and on the ball bonus.
It's too late now.
It's definitely too late. It's definitely too late now. I think the opportunity is
it's too late because it doesn't have any turns.
Well, yeah.
Also that.
Yeah, so Captain Awesome did manage to steal that end of round, even without the Phoebe. So I think they can be happy with that, and yeah, maybe if they do still get the Phoebe down at some point, they can maybe get this last end of round as well. And
I mean, the blue-winged warbler is still going in the grassland. There's going to be an extra 2.
Yeah.
The bowing owl was actually a really good pick from Saephir. He took that from the tray sometime in round 2, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's worked out nicely for them.
Yeah, we didn't comment on it at the time, but it worked out really well for him.
Yeah. I think sometimes these kinds of birds, people ignore them just because the brown power isn't great. But actually, 5 points and a star nest and 4 egg spaces in that star nest for 2 food, it's not terrible. I think if you can look past that brown power and think, okay, I might get no points from it, but I might get 1 or 2, and you take that. I think it is still a good bird, and like you say, it's worked out nicely for them here. It's certainly helping with that egg space, so they can afford to lay eggs more turns in this last round. I think it's worked out well for them.
One thing I do want to point out, and we did mention it at the time, but it seems like Saephir didn't see it like we did. When he took food for the last time, he took the worm instead of the berry. There were 2 berries and a worm and 2 mouse, I believe. And he took the worm instead of the berry, so now the Indigo Bunting was able to reward, and he's still going. He hasn't missed a turn yet.
No, I think you're right.
I feel like probably the bigger mistake in this game from him.
Yeah. So I think he did go for food and has got the fish. So whether he's going to look to try and get down something in the wetlands.
Ecologist, ecolog.
It's nice. Yeah, easy enough to translate that one. But the botanist as well, I guess it's either way. Do you now go for the warbler in the forest for those 2 extra points?
That is the question. It's gonna depend. I mean, the round end is 3 points.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Captain Awesome is not playing any birds.
No. I
just noticed he played.
Yeah.
He played the redstart. He didn't play the woodpecker.
Yeah.
I don't know, some questionable decisions on his side, I would say.
I think so, yeah. I mean, the red start is a nice bird. If you are going to gain food a lot, it certainly helps, but I don't think they really have gone for food enough to justify getting that down. Like you said, they had the woodpecker, which is the same food cost, and it's going to get them a bonus card, which could potentially be even more points in the long term. So yeah, I do wonder at this point if they are going to get that 4th grassland bird down. If you are saephir in this position, the longer you see your opponent not getting that extra egg space in the grasslands, probably the more confident you feel about playing the warbler in the forest and getting those 2 extra points. So I think they'll probably look to leave this to the last possible moment, and if they can get away with...
he did play the woodpecker.
There we go. Yeah.
It's hard to see what it does.
Yeah.
It's just a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah. So I'm trying to work out. I think they might have gone for food twice because they've got a lot of fish. So
yeah.
I
going
wonder
for
if
the great egret, bald eagle.
Yeah, I think they are going to go for the double bird, which is it's such a huge point bomb at the end of the game here. And I think there are still some fish in the feeder, so that'll give them something at least to discard when they're laying eggs.
Throw away to get more eggs. Yeah.
So that always helps.
I did not at all catch what bonus card they took.
No, neither did I. So we'll have to. They've got too many cards that it's just blocking them. So it might be a bit of a mystery until the end. But yeah, I mean that withstanding, who do you think's in the strong position here? Who's going to take it
I
for
completely
you?
forgot about that. He was trying to do forester.
Yeah, but he's only got 4. I don't think he's got enough turns to get. Oh no, he's not going for food again, is he? Surely not. That would be very strange.
Forester. I mean, one reason I like forester and all of the egg-based bonus card is because the first stage is 4 points.
Yeah.
It just makes them better than the rest for me. Because I rarely even go for the second stage for egg bonus cards because you just get the 4 points. The second stage is like 6 or 7. It's not worth most of the time.
Yeah. I think
he's gonna go for ecologist. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the right move. You see what your opponent has done on that last turn and basically used all their food. Going for those double birds, you kind of know, okay, well, they've not played anything in the grasslands, it's too late now, they can't get something down and lay eggs in it. So yeah, if you're safe here, you feel safe going there. But yeah, I feel like this is quite a difficult one to call. It's kind of swung back and forth. Obviously the gull coming up in round 2 for Captain Awesome put it strongly in their favour, but then the Raven has kind of come and saved saephir a little bit here at the end. So who do you think is in the stronger position? Who do you think's going to?
How are we doing on round ends again? Because I feel like at least the end game board, Zephyr's end game board looks so much better, and he has 6 points on Novnivov, 6 points on Ecologist.
Yeah.
He's gonna get the last end of one. I think he's got it.
Yeah, so I think saephir will have won 3 of the 4 end of rounds, and then Captain Awesome took the other. So like you say, they've got it on end of rounds. They've got much stronger bonus cards. Owl has been disappointing, but
last opportunity to get a kill with the Owl.
That's the Owl for you.
No, I think he's definitely.
I think you're right. I think saephir looks in the strong position. So we'll see.
On Captain's Awesome board, I can't even see the Great Egret and Bald Eagle.
No, so I think they did. I think they did play it, but it's just not come through yet. So yeah, I think just the number of eggs that saephir has had, and they've got those tuck cards at the end, and there we go. So saephir has taken it 96 to 86.
A pretty convincing win.
Yep. And I should point out this is a best of 3 series now that we're in the knockout phase, so this is only game 1. So Captain Awesome isn't out of it yet. They will still have another chance. They will be playing games 2 and potentially game 3 as well at some point next week. So definitely stay tuned for that. But yeah,
I definitely liked what Zephy did in this game. The chipping throw in the grassland.
I think it made sense, and I think it paid off in the end.
I don't know if it's a controversial take, but I do think this is a case where the player who played the best won. You know.